And hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn a Trade. I am Kevin Tate. Thank you for being here today. And today's broadcast is called Bunn Ultra-2 Repair Position Sensor Board Error. So I came across a Ultra-2 that we had a call on, and I went out there and I seen that it had a sensor board error right away. So I figured I'd take a few pictures and then go ahead and create a little video that uh, is kind of like a tutorial on um, diagnosing this and then going through the repair. So let me just share the screen with you and we'll get into it. There it is there. That's the Bunn Ultra 2. And this was how it was when I walked up to it. The customer said that they did have a problem with this hopper not freezing, and the reason it is not freezing is because it was coming up with a left side sensor error. As you can see here, right here, it says torque, and then on the left side it says fault. The right side is fine. The right side, it says that it's in ice mode right now. See if I can explode that a little bit for you. See there, left torque, and then the fault is on the left side. This right here is just the number of days that it has been in operation. So immediately when I seen that it had a left torque error, the torque board is located on the rear of the machine. Both sides have their own positioning board. That's the that's what reads the torque of the motor. So I turn it around right away, and then that way I have access to remove the two screws and then remove this back panel or back motor cover. Once I remove the motor cover, I'm going to expand that a little for you so you could see right about there. Right in here, these are the two pins. You can see the two pins. This one is the pin to the motor shaft, the shaft of the motor, and this pin right down here is the shaft assembly pin. And I think you can see at this shaft, this drive motor pin, it has a little syrup on it or buildup on it, and so doesn't the shaft assembly. Now, if I bring it down a little bit, this is all like built up old syrup that's leaked from the bad front seal, from the front seal in the front, the shaft seal. That shaft seal was bad, so it was leaking. Product was leaking through and just sitting. Over time, it becomes like a black paste, and then it wraps around the shaft assembly. So what it did was it wrapped itself around the shaft assembly to the point that it got turned into a big ball. And then this little piece right here is actually part of the circuit board, the positioning board. This is the positioning board right here. And this is a sensor that belongs on the positioning board, but that syrup got so thick and sticky that it stuck to the sensor and pulled the sensor out of the board. So that's why that that error code is coming up, because it's recognizing that it's damaged. So from that point, I have to go ahead and I remove the 4 screws that hold in this motor assembly, and I'm going to remove this motor assembly, pull it out. I disconnected the motor wires, so those are all disconnected, and then I'm going to pull out that motor. Once I pulled out that motor, you can see this is the shaft assembly right here. See how built up it is with just old syrup? This stuff is like really sticky. It wraps around the whole assembly as it turns, and then it turns into a big ball. It's even like stuck back here uh, on the motor assembly, and then you can see that little piece that it pulled off of the board also right there. And this is how it looked on the inside after taking that motor assembly out. You can see the board. This is the position sensor board right here. So this is what you can also call the torque board. Um, and you can see right here on the tip of this sensor that syrup had gotten on the to the tip of that too. But this one right over here, it pulled it all the way out of the board. And then you can see it all built up around the outside down here, puddled up, and then it's all on the inside. You'll see that in a few. See, and that's how it looks on the inside there. You can see it all puddled up in there, and it was just going to keep doing that until something happens, and then um, the service tech comes out, and this is what you find. So this all has to get cleaned up. The inside of that tube, that evaporator tube, has to get cleaned out to prevent any further leaks. And then this motor, you remove this screw right here. This screw holds in that, I'm sorry, not the motor, but the board, the positioning board. This screw right here holds in that position board, and you're going to remove that screw and then remove the board. Pull out the the terminal wires. There's 3 wires right here, and it pops right into this terminal. You're gonna pull that up and out and let it set aside. It's wire tied up top, so just let it hang there. And then you're gonna replace that board. Yeah, and this is that shaft. You can see how it's built up around that shaft and around the pin. And a lot of times too, even if you don't have anything here, if um, the syrup or a piece of insulation gets wrapped around this here, that'll also give you a sensor error or a torque error, because the sensor won't detect the pins because the pin is covered. Just like if this piece wasn't broken off of the board, it probably still would come up with the error because it has residue on it, and the board is not going to sense that. It has to be clean. And this is that seal that was in there, so that's got to be pulled out. And that blue bushing, there's a blue bushing behind that. That's also got to get pulled out. That's it. After I pulled it out, I removed the seal and I removed the bushing. And I'll put a new bushing and a new seal in there after I get the drive shaft assembly cleaned up and that motor assembly cleaned up. Actually, on this one, I ended up replacing the drive shaft assembly because it was so built up with that syrup, uh, and it was a little loose, so I didn't want to take a chance on putting that back into it. So I replaced it with a new shaft assembly. And this is after I cleaned it up. You can see it's clean in that tube now. It's all cleaned out. Um, with that, you basically will use a thin cloth, a thin cloth that you can twist up and then stick it in there with a long with a long screwdriver or a cleaning brush, and you tip wrap the tip of it with that thin towel or a thin cloth, and then just slide it in through there and then rotate it around so you can clean up on the inside. I usually do spray a little cleaner on the cloth itself before I stick it in there, and then put it in there with a cleaning brush or a screwdriver. Don't scrape hard with the screwdriver because you don't want to damage the cylinder, but you use that just to get the cloth up in there good, so you're getting the full cylinder cleaned out. And this was the back end of it here. I cleaned all of this up here, and then on in the middle too. And sometimes you have to watch these little insulation patches. These are there to cover sensors that are inside of the cylinder, but sometimes this this insulation tape, it'll get it'll get caught on the shaft assembly, and then that'll wrap around the shaft assembly, and then that'll cause an error too. So you want to make sure that these little insulation patches are pressed down and that they're not in the way of the rotation of the shaft assembly and the drive motor. Then here my new I have the new shaft assembly in place. You can see the pin right there. I have the new board in place. This is the new positioning board, and I have it connected. And now I'm gonna get ready to put my my drive motor up with that and slide it in. And there it goes. It's back in place. I have the four screws are in place. The board wire is connected. The motor wires are connected. So for right now, I would be ready to put the cover back on this. But usually before I put the cover back on, I like to go ahead and put it into freeze mode so that I can test out the torque level and the coolant level, the refrigeration level. So now I have my shaft assembly in place. So now I'm putting in the blue bushing, the blue shaft assembly bushing. That's going to go in first. It just pushes right down the shaft assembly. And then next is my shaft seal, shaft assembly seal. This is the front seal. So I slide that on, and then we use the seal tool to put that on. This is the tool that you use to put that seal on. Sometimes you can get away with using like something plastic, something that's not sharp to press that in. But you really want to use this tool. It comes with the PM kits from Bunn. So you usually get one or two of those in a kit. So it's best to just keep one for yourself and then, use that to push that in. As you can see, the slots of the tool fit with um, the notches fit up together with that seal, with the notches in that seal. So they line right up, and then you just press it right in until it's flush. And there is that's how it should look. Should be flush with the outer ring, and then it's now it's ready to be tested. So right now I'm gonna turn that on by pressing the ice button. It'll be in the off position, and then I press it once, it'll go to chill. I press it again, it'll go to ice. On some of these units, it'll go from off to chill to defrost and then to ice. But you just want to make sure you press it until it goes to ice. On these models right here, when the ice is written in all caps like this, that means it's in ice mode. When they go to lowercase letters and they say ice but in lowercase letters, that means it's in thaw mode. So it's kind of like a defrost for it. Some of these models, the older models, don't have that defrost setting. They don't have that word defrost, but what it does is it'll go from the all caps ice to a lowercase ice, just so you know what you're looking at. If you ever go in and work on one of these, um, you'll notice it right away. You'll see it in small letters, and then that's letting you know that it's not in ice mode, that it's not in freeze mode. It's in thaw mode. And this button right here, you don't have to press that button. It's just for the auger. It's just if you just want the auger to turn, but you don't want it to freeze or chill or anything, you can just press that, and then that will cause just the drive motor to turn. It won't turn on the compressor or anything like that. And then right here, I'm pressing down with my two fingers. There's three buttons right up here. There's one here, one in the middle, and one here. You want to press and hold those two in buttons. You want to press and hold them until you see that word display, temp, and torque. And then once you see those words come up, you can then just let go of those two buttons. So you press and hold until you see the display, temp, torque, and then you let go of the buttons. And then this is what's going to come up. These are going to be your readings for your torque. This reading here is for torque. It's telling you what the torque is. That's what that rear position board is for. It's reading the speed of that motor, that those pins cross those sensors. That's what it's reading. So when I have right now, I don't have a hopper on this cylinder, so it's in the open air. There's no liquid in there. There's nothing. So when it's like that, you should always get a torque between 0 to 4. Okay, so without a hopper on it, you should have a torque of 0 to 4. That's how you test these. That's how you test, and then that way you'll know if there's anything wrong with the shaft assembly, if there's anything wrong with the drive motor, if there's anything wrong with the position board, you'll know that right away. So when you go into a site and you're working on an Ultra-2, the main thing you got to do is go, if it's both sides are running, just go in, press those two in buttons, press and hold them, get your temp torque to come up, and then just watch it for a few minutes. Just watch it, see where the torque is reading. Most times you'll be able to tell just from the torque number. If your torque is, if this had a hopper on it and they both had hoppers, and then this side is reading 14, but this side is reading like 30, then you know there's an issue in that motor section. There's an issue with the board, or there's an issue with the motor, there's an issue with the pins. One of the pins could be broken off or something like that. So that kind of gives you a little head start on figuring out what's happening with these. And then right here is your temperature. It gives you two temperatures. It gives you your low side temperature, and then it gives you your high side temperature. And mainly you're looking at the low side temperature. So right here, this is when I just started it up. Right here, this side is at 47 degrees. But now, after letting it run for a few seconds, for a few minutes, I mean, now it's at 16 degrees, but my torque is still at 0, and that's good. And this one here is good too. This one here is reading 25. That's a good that's a good range, and it's at 15 degrees right there. So these highlighted areas right here, these right here are telling you that the solenoid, the refrigeration solenoid, is open. Okay, when refrigeration is off, when it's turned off, this will be just a small little line, like a hash mark. It'll be like a small little line. But then once that thermostat calls for a refrigerant or to be cooled, it'll go like this. It'll fill up, and that's letting you know that that solenoid's open. Now, another troubleshooting trick with these is if you have one side that's not freezing, but you can see that the solenoid is reading open, it's reading that it's open, then that's when you want to go on the left side. You want to remove the left side panel, and then you'll see you'll see the solenoid valves. They're both there side by side. You'll see the solenoid valves there. I think I showed this in one other video, or in a few other videos I showed this, but you'll see those solenoid valves, and they'll be sitting right down in the front on the bottom left side of the machine. You want to just take the head of your of a slotted screwdriver, and then just lay it on top of the coil. And if that valve is open, you should feel like a magnetic catch to it. It should be catching your screwdriver. And if it's not, then that's letting you know that there's something wrong with that solenoid coil. Then all you have to do from there is replace the solenoid coil. You don't have to open up the system or anything. You don't have to evacuate or anything like that. You just have to change the coil, and then get that should get that up and running if there's no other issues. And then here, this is reading the high side of the units. So it's at 115 on the high side. So that's letting you know that it's circulating, and it's pulling out the heat of the product. It's pulling out the heat in that hopper, and that's a good level. Sometimes you'll see it go up to between 125 to 130 sometimes, but that's just letting you know what the high side is. And then here you can see that I have it frozen down. It has frozen down completely. And now I will be able to put this back into operation. I'll put the hopper back on. I'll put the auger blade, I'll put that back on, put the hopper on, make sure my rear seal is on there good too. And then they're ready to go. So Um, that's that's pretty much it with these Ultra 2s. I wanted to go over this with you because it was a few things that I came across that I figured would be a help to you, knowing about how um, that liquid seeps in from the front seal, and then it gets into the cylinder shaft, and then it just hardens and it collects all over that drive shaft, and seeing how that ended up damaging the sensor board. So it's a lot of things that come about. One thing leads to another, like that. So it's just something good to be aware of. Um, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, the unit is running fine now. It's back up and in operation, and hopefully this was helpful to you all. I hope you're able to get some use out of this out in the field wherever you're at. And let me know, if you had any more questions. Let me know in comments. Um, that's all I got, everyone. I thank you for watching. May you all stay well and be blessed.